Before you book your next flight, there is something extremely important you need to understand, because this one mistake is quietly costing people hundreds, sometimes even thousands of dollars every single year without them realizing it. Most travelers believe that flight prices are random. They think prices go up because demand suddenly increases, or because they waited too long, or simply because of bad timing. But the truth is much more interesting than that. Today, flight pricing is heavily influenced by data. Your data. Every time you search for a flight, every time you check a destination, every time you compare prices or revisit the same route, you are feeding information into a system that is constantly learning from your behavior. And that system is not passive. It reacts. So let's imagine a simple scenario. You're planning a trip. Maybe it's a vacation. Maybe it's a family visit. Maybe it's something you've been looking forward to for months. You open your laptop, go to a flight search website, and type in your route. You find a flight that looks perfect. Good time, reasonable price, convenient schedule. You don't book immediately because you want to be sure. So you check again later that day, and then again the next morning. And maybe one more time before making your final decision. From your perspective, you're being careful. You're comparing options. You're trying to make the best possible decision. But from the system's perspective, something else is happening. You are sending a very clear signal. You are saying, I am interested in this exact flight. And when that signal becomes strong enough, the system adapts. Sometimes slowly, sometimes subtly, but it adapts. Prices can increase. Availability can appear more limited. And urgency can be artificially created. And that's exactly why the first strategy in this video is so powerful. Hack number 1 is deleting your cookies before you book any flight. Now, let's break this down in a simple way. Cookies are small pieces of data that websites store in your browser. They track your activity. They remember what you searched for. They remember how many times you came back. They remember how long you stayed on a page. And all of that information builds a profile of your behavior. Now imagine that profile being used to predict your likelihood of buying. If the system sees that you've checked the same flight multiple times, it can assume that you are very close to booking. And when you are close to booking, price sensitivity becomes less important, at least from the system's perspective. So what happens? Prices can start to increase. Not drastically at first, but enough to make a difference. And this is why clearing your cookies and cache is such a powerful move. When you clear that data, you reset your identity as a user. You remove the history of your searches. You remove the signals you were sending, and you appear as someone new. Now, this does not guarantee a lower price every time, but it removes one of the key factors that can push prices upward, and that alone can make a noticeable difference. Now, let's go one step deeper. Many people think that using incognito mode is enough. But incognito mode is not a complete solution. It hides some information, but not everything. Your IP address is still visible. Your device information is still visible. And patterns can still be detected. So if you want to go further, you can combine strategies. Use incognito mode, yes. But also consider switching devices. Search on your phone, then book on your laptop. Or search on your laptop and book on your phone. To the system, that can look like two completely different users, and that difference can sometimes work in your favor. Now let's move to the second strategy, which is one of the most powerful tools available to modern travelers. Hack number 2 is changing your location when searching for flights. At first, this might sound strange. Why would your location affect the price of a flight? But in reality, airlines use complex pricing systems that take many factors into account. One of those factors is geography. The same flight can have different prices depending on where the search is coming from. This is influenced by regional demand, competition, and even average income levels. So a ticket searched from one country might be priced differently than the same ticket searched from another country. And this is where a VPN becomes useful. A VPN allows you to change your virtual location. You can appear as if you are searching from a completely different country. Now, this doesn't always guarantee a lower price, but it gives you access to different pricing environments. And sometimes those differences are significant. For example, a flight that costs one price in one region might be cheaper in another. Even a difference of $50, $100, or $200 per ticket can add up quickly, especially if you are traveling with family. Now let's move to the third strategy, which is all about timing. Hack number 3 is understanding when to search and when to book. Most people search for flights in the evening, after work, after dinner, on weekends. That's when they have time. But that's also when the majority of people are searching. And when more people are searching, demand appears higher. And when demand appears higher, prices can reflect that. Instead, try shifting your behavior. Search early in the morning. Search during the middle of the week. These are times when fewer people are active. And while it doesn't guarantee lower prices every time, it can reduce the chances of hitting peak demand periods. Over time, this habit can help you find more stable pricing. Now let's talk about the fourth strategy, which can have an immediate impact on your budget. Hack number 4 is avoiding the biggest airports. Most travelers automatically choose the main airport in a city. It feels convenient. It feels like the obvious choice. But that convenience often comes at a cost. Major airports have higher demand, more traffic, more competition for seats, and often higher prices. Instead, take a moment to explore nearby airports, smaller airports, regional hubs, alternative locations within a reasonable distance. Sometimes flying into or out of a smaller airport can save you a significant amount of money. Yes, it might require a short train ride or a drive, but the savings can easily justify it. In many cases, travelers save hundreds of dollars just by choosing a different airport. And beyond the price, smaller airports are often easier to navigate, less crowded, less stressful. Now let's move to the fifth and final strategy, and this one is more about mindset. Hack number 5 is to stop searching like a buyer and start searching like an explorer. Most people search with a fixed plan. They know exactly where they want to go, exactly when they want to go, and they keep checking the same route again and again. But that behavior is predictable. And predictable behavior is easy for systems to respond to. Instead, introduce flexibility. Search different dates. Explore nearby destinations. Compare multiple routes. Even small changes in your search can reveal completely different pricing options. The more flexible you are, the more opportunities you create, and the less predictable your behavior becomes, which reduces the chances of triggering price increases. Now let's zoom out for a moment. At the end of the day, flight pricing is no longer just about supply and demand. It is about data, your behavior, your patterns. And if you are not aware of how those systems work, it becomes very easy to overpay. But now you understand what is happening behind the scenes. And more importantly, you know how to respond. By applying these strategies, even partially, you can start saving money immediately. And if you apply all of them together, the difference can be massive. We are talking about hundreds, sometimes even over $1,000 saved on a single trip. And that is money you can use for better experiences, better hotels, better food, or simply keeping more in your pocket. So the next time you are about to book a flight, take a moment, clear your data, adjust your strategy, and make sure you are not paying more than necessary. Because saving money on flights is not about luck. It is about understanding the system, and once you understand it, everything changes.